Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being so patient and waiting with us. We're going to have quite an exciting session today. The title of our webinar is "You Are Wasting Your Time. Find Out Why." It's quite a serious title, but I promise you the session is going to be very enjoyable, and I'm definitely going to help you guys save a lot of time by using this cool new functionality with SolidWorks. Okay, so just about myself, my name is Pierre. I'm part of the MiCAD Systems operations team, and basically my job is to work with our customers like yourself and to help you guys adopt the SolidWorks and 3D Experience platform, and to basically make sure you guys get the most out of your products. And so many exciting things have happened this year, and starting with 1st of July, which has recently passed, even more. So that's what we're going to dive into today, and there's a very, very particular and very powerful feature that I'm going to show you guys all about, and I guarantee you're going to walk away smiling, and it's going to be great. The reason why we're saying stop wasting your time is because we've seen in a lot of cases in the past that designers and engineers in the drawing office tend to actually spend a lot of time trying to interact and engage models with external stakeholders. Majority of the time goes towards these few items that I have here on the screen. So let's say you have an external stakeholder who would like to review your CAD models. And essentially what you'll then have to do is you'll have to either do pack and goes or put all your files nicely together in a little zip file and then share that with the customers. And generally this happens over email. And we've also noticed that email have attachment size cap. So sometimes you have to pair other file sharing tools with email, which can be quite tedious. Secondly, with that being said, those emails tend to become, they tend to stack up, and you eventually have hundreds and hundreds of emails of back and forth communication with each other. And never mind just the emails containing the CAD documents, there would also be emails back and forth with comments, notes, essentially your markups, because these files aren't shared live with the external stakeholders, and there's no quick way for the designers or the SolidWorks users to get feedback within SolidWorks or their drawing tools directly from the external stakeholders, purely because they might not have SolidWorks themselves. Let's say you do also share files with users. If they don't have a SolidWorks license, what would you need to do? You'll typically need to spend quite a bit of time converting your files to neutral formats. You can open in viewing tools. In that case, sometimes a lot of information gets lost, and there's a lot of back and forth in that sense as well. I'm pretty sure we've all been there on the phone or on TeamViewer trying to explain to someone where to download free 3D CAD viewing tools. If we do send 3D files, and then we have hassles trying to install, update, and then sometimes we have to dive into our IT side and try to figure out why these free viewing tools aren't working. And probably the most painful is this point here at the bottom, is sharing incorrect and out-of-date versions with stakeholders. Because you are constantly creating zip files and sending them, and you're not necessarily just sitting by your PC waiting for the feedback. You have to carry on working on your designs. Then by the time the external stakeholders have actually started reviewing your designs, you've already made changes. And in that case, the file's already out of date, or you actually, if you've built up versions and revisions of these files, you may already be another revision down the line. So there's a lot of miscommunication in that sense, and that can cause a lot of pain and headaches and effectively a lot of time wastage. Okay, enough about the negative side. This is just some pointers I wanted to point out that I'm pretty sure all of us have faced. Let's move on to how we can fix this and how we can tackle this. Okay. As of the 1st of July, 2023, SolidWorks now includes cloud services. This is SolidWorks built-in system that basically partners with the 3D Experience platform. I'm pretty sure if you've been to any of the MeCAD events recently, you've heard us talk and brag a lot about how wonderful 3D Experience is and how it's a future, whether it's cloud-based or artificial intelligence in that sense. It is really, really powerful stuff. And this is now with your SolidWorks licenses that you've purchased after the 1st of July. Okay. The feature we'll be looking at is the share and markup. This is where you will be saving your time, and this is how you'll effectively communicate with external stakeholders. It could even be someone inside your organization who needs to have a look at the files and they purely just don't have a SolidWorks license. The share and markup is free for recipients. So we're going to have a look at this in a moment. But essentially, why I've got this nice little graph here where we're starting with share and markup on the left there is this is our introduction into the 3D Experience platform when we are a SolidWorks user. Okay, this is basically where we're going to start, and we're going to actually start to see the power of 3D Experience and how it can be used to solve quite a few problems, whether it's data management or just collaboration. And once we get the hang of that and we actually harness the power, we can actually then move that gauge, and then we can have a look at further and more detailed features of 3D Experience. Store and revise, which is our online document management system, and then we can even dive further into manage and control. All of this is actually part of the SolidWorks with cloud services. But for today, I'm just going to start with the basics, which is our share and markup, and let's see what it's all about. Okay, in a nutshell, share and markup provides SolidWorks users with the ability to share their 3D designs with anyone. The nice thing about this is it's available directly in the familiar user interface of SolidWorks. So you don't need to install any funny standalone applications on your PC. It's just an add-in that goes straight into SolidWorks. And as you can see, there's literally a little button that says share a file. And it's as easy as that. Talking about the background of this, let me quickly just take a step back and explain how this feature works. Okay, so essentially what you're going to do is you're going to open your model in SolidWorks and basically design the parts, assemblies, and the drawings. You can share parts, assemblies, or drawings with external stakeholders. It doesn't have to be just a part in that sense. We're actually going to do a live demonstration just now. So if we just quickly cover the theory and the classroom stuff first, we'll save the excitement for later. But essentially what's happening is when you click the share and file, it's basically exporting your current SolidWorks file into a secure online folder. This is in the 3D drive, which is inside 3D Experience. And then from there, it generates the viewing capabilities for the external stakeholders. And the beauty about this is also how it saves time, is you can have the system automatically send that to someone directly. So you don't have to type out tedious emails, just add a little comment, and you'll see what the email looks like that the recipients receive. That is if you want to make it secure in the sense that this file is for specific people only. That is the beauty of this tool. You can actually have that secure access and you can control who has access to your files. Or if you know it's going to be shared between multiple people and there's various stakeholders included, then you can simply share with the URL. And then anyone who has the URL code can have access to your files. Okay, because it's in a 3D drive, it's constantly syncing. And when there's collaboration from the designer to the external stakeholder or vice versa, it's constantly up to date. Okay. And a lot of this is automated in the background in the sense that the share with the external folder gets created automatically when you share a file for the first time. You can see there in the bottom right-hand side is what it would look like. And if you are worried about the intellectual property of your files, you can control what file type is shared. So you simply have your SolidWorks part or assembly or drawing open. And in this case, we've actually got a part or assembly that's been converted to a 3D XML file. So in that case, you have that security in the sense that they won't be seeing your features and the sketches and all of that, but they'll have a nice 3D model to work with. I'm pretty sure you guys are all keen to see what this is all about. So let me just quickly show you essentially what the email would look like. If you had to use the share with specific user and you type an email address, the 3D Experience platform would simply send this email to that person directly. And you can see I've added a little note there which says, hi Prelisha, I'm just busy testing out this feature. And you'll see there it says click here to see more. So that is the secure link that when you click on it will actually take you to the viewing tool online. And it will actually ask Prelisha to log in. In that case, your files are secure and only she has access to them or that specific person has access to them. And if the person logs in and they're not the person who the file's been shared with, it will actually say, sorry, this is not available to you. Please get hold of the person that shared the file if you want access. Okay. And once again, this is a huge time saver because you don't manually have to keep track of all the emails you send and have that constant back and forth. Okay, and let me actually share my screen with you and we're going to dive into what the feature actually looks like. This is the platform where the file essentially gets shared with the users. A very user-friendly, very powerful interface, and all of this is part of the SolidWorks cloud services. From here, I'm simply going to open up my SolidWorks, which has the Design with SolidWorks add-in installed. Okay. And basically you can see here I've got a folder on my desktop and that folder contains the components of the assembly I'll be sharing. So there's no hidden tricks or anything like that. We're simply going to have a file that's on my PC and I'm going to share it directly with external stakeholders. So let me open up that assembly. As you guys know, if you do know me pretty well, I like a good bra. So I thought this assembly here would be good to show. Okay, so directly from my SolidWorks interface, I'm going to go to the Life Cycle and Collaboration tab. And there you can see is my share a file icon. So I simply click. And what it's doing is it's uploading my files to the 3D drive. Like I said, it's our online secure storage platform. And as you can see, no hassle, it's quick, efficient. And here is where I can control the access to this file. So in this case, I am not going to send it to a specific user. I want it to be quite open to multiple people. As long as they have the URL link, they can access this. And if I did want to control, I would simply turn this on and then type in the email address, and then it would automatically send that email to the recipient like I showed you earlier. And secondly, I'm going to turn on this option which says enable guest comments, because I actually want that back and forth collaboration with my external stakeholders. I want them to be able to do markups and red lines and actually give me feedback on these designs so that I can see real time what changes I need to make. Okay, and then what I can do is I can simply click copy link, and I can close. And there you can see the file has successfully been uploaded on the 3D drive. Okay. And within SolidWorks as well, I can keep track of which components I've shared with external stakeholders in this shared with external folder. Okay. So let me quickly go back and show you guys what this link looks like. So let's pretend I have now put in the hat of the external stakeholder, and I've received a link from here. I simply go to Google, copy paste the link in my URL. As you can see over here, this is where that safety factor comes into play. Also, let's just quickly take a step back. There's no software that we need to install on the recipient's computer. That's also a huge time saver, and it really helps in the sense that the ease of use is there. They simply need to make a 3D experience login with the email and password. It literally takes 10 seconds to sign up, and they don't even need any SolidWorks licenses or nothing. It's completely free for the viewer. Okay, so let me quickly grab my email address, type it in, and I'm quickly going to put in my password. And it's simply going to verify my details and log in. Okay. Once I've logged in, it actually loads the 3D viewer. And in this case, you can see it's converted that SolidWorks assembly and all the components into a 3D XML file type. Okay, so once again, we're busy protecting our intellectual property. And you can see it's a fully interactive 3D model. And I can play around with the display style. So in this case, I perhaps want to see the edges. Let's say the background is quite harsh on the eyes. You can play around with different styles of backgrounds. I like to use this dark review. Okay. So there are quite a few tools available to the users in the sense that you can click on the components and it actually gives you a nice breakdown of the sub-assemblies and the individual components within them. So if you do had to, if you'd like to see a bill of materials kind of breakdown, we could also look at jumping between our standard views. So front view, we can hop over to side views, back views, our isometric view, so on and so forth. Okay. And this is where the good stuff comes into play. Let's actually get to our redlining and markup tools. So I'm going to activate my comments. And you can see over here that we are actually going to start the comments from scratch, and the external stakeholder is going to start collaborating with the designer. So let me grab my tools, and I can basically hide or show certain components if I'd like to do, or if I want to explode this assembly, I could simply do that. And you can see the explode is also broken down into steps, once again making it more user-friendly. Yeah, but let's just keep it as it is, like this. And let's start using the measure tool. So the measure tool, I can basically use to grab measurements. And as you can see over there, got a nice distance. And if I want, I can even add a markup over here saying, up here, please confirm standard length. Yeah. We simply put that there. And these tools are quite powerful in the sense that it gives you quite a lot of flexibility, but it still keeps that ease of use. If you are like me and you're quite old-fashioned and you like to draw and scribble all over the place to help conceptualize your ideas, you can use the redline tool and you can do some annotations. So over here, I'm just going to put a little circle and draw my components over there. And with that, I can add some text saying, please check fasteners for planks. Yeah. So let me just grab this. And this tool is quite handy in the sense that you can play around with different styles. Okay, now I'm done. As an external stakeholder, I've had my say, and I'm quite happy with these changes that need to be made. Now, how do I actually send this back to the SolidWorks user without sending emails or phoning them and spending quite a bit of time trying to explain back and forth? Okay, that is also available right here in the tool. I simply go to my annotation tools here at the bottom, and you can see there's a share as comment. So I'm simply going to click that, and it's going to take a nice screenshot and place it over here on the right hand side. And I can say, up here, please check my mockups and make changes accordingly. Yeah. And I'm going to post that. And there you go. Everything I needed to say is done. And let me quickly take off the hat of the external stakeholder and swap back to the designer or the SolidWorks user seat. So I'm going to stop my share of this page, and I'm going to hop back to my SolidWorks. Just waiting for it to load. There we go. Okay. So in SolidWorks, I have my breakdown, and I simply go to my main menu. And you can see over here, I have notifications. And if I activate my notifications, we have the information here that says external stakeholder has commented on my assembly. So let me grab that, and I'm going to say open. And just like that, the live collaboration in place. So I can see the comments, I can like, I can even have a look at the model to see that, and I can even expand their feedback in that sense to see exactly what they were mentioning to me. And I can reply. Okay. And that is basically what I wanted to show you guys today in the share and markup and the ease of use of how to collaborate with your external stakeholders without having to share files and create emails. And this is a very, very nice introduction to the 3D Experience platform, especially to those of you who have been using SolidWorks for a while and then simply just want to get started in seeing what the future has to hold. And as we know, everyone is slowly moving over to the cloud, and basically this is definitely the way forward. So let me just quickly go back to my final slide that I want to emphasize, and what we want to focus on is that real-time collaboration between SolidWorks, 3D Experience, and the external stakeholders, whether they are inside your organization or external, whether they have licenses or not. And I just want to emphasize that it is free for the users outside of the business, and they don't need to do any installations on their PC. So if you've recently bought a SolidWorks license after the 1st of July and your license includes with cloud services, or if you've done a renewal and you've included the cloud with services, please do reach out to our team. We are more than happy to help you get started, and we want to help save you as much time as possible and help you effectively share your ideas, collaborate, and basically just focus on your designs and spend less time on the boring admin. If you guys feel that you want to reach out to us, simply pop us a mail or give our office a call. Our team is more than happy to help out. Thank you very much for joining the webinar today, and I sincerely hope you guys have a great day further, and I definitely hope that I've helped you guys see the benefits of the new share and markup feature that comes with your SolidWorks and 3D Experience.